13-year-old girl was home alone when 3 knocks hit her front door. She checked the peephole. Nobody was there. Then her phone lit up with a message from a Roblox player she had never met in real life. This story was shared by a girl we will call Hannah. She posted it online months after it happened because her school counselor told her it might help other kids recognize the signs she missed. Hannah was 13 years old and lived with her parents in a quiet 2-story house at the end of a cul-de-sac. She was an only child. Her parents both worked office jobs and sometimes came home late, which meant Hannah spent a lot of afternoons alone in the house with her dog and her computer. Hannah was not a shy kid, but she was not a popular one either. She had a few friends at school, but most of her real social life happened online. She played Roblox almost every evening. Adopt Me was her favorite game, but she also played Brookhaven and a handful of roleplay servers. She had a long friends list, almost all of them people she had never met in person. One of her online friends was a player she had met on a Brookhaven server a few months earlier. In the story, we will call him Ryan. Ryan's avatar looked like a normal teenage boy. His username was simple. His profile did not have anything strange on it. They started chatting after a roleplay session where they had both played the same family in Brookhaven. He was funny. He was polite. He remembered things she told him from previous sessions. He seemed like one of the good ones. Over the next few weeks, Ryan became one of Hannah's closest online friends. They would log in around the same time every evening. They would play together for hours. Sometimes they would just sit in a virtual cafe inside Brookhaven and chat. Ryan asked her normal questions at first. What school she went to, what her favorite subjects were, what she wanted to be when she grew up. Hannah answered honestly. She did not think twice about it. She told him her school was a middle school in a small town. She told him the name of her town. She told him she lived with her parents in a house with a yard. She told him her dog was named Biscuit. None of these answers felt like a mistake at the time. They felt like getting to know a friend. But Hannah would learn later that each of those answers was a single thread, and in the wrong hands, threads can be woven into something much bigger. The first time Hannah felt something was off, she brushed it aside. Ryan mentioned offhand that he had driven through her town once. Hannah thought that was a little strange because Ryan had said earlier he was only 14, which meant he should not be driving. When she asked him about it, he laughed and said it was his older brother who had been driving. Hannah accepted the answer and kept playing. The second red flag came a week later. Ryan started asking more specific questions. What time did Hannah get home from school? Was anyone usually home with her? How late did her parents work? Did she play Roblox in the living room or in her bedroom? Hannah answered some of them and got quietly uncomfortable about others. She changed the subject. Ryan let it drop and did not push. That was the part that confused her later. He always seemed to back off at the exact moment she was about to say no. The third red flag was the one that should have ended everything. But Hannah was 13, and at 13, the warning signs of your life often feel like overreactions. She ignored it. And because she ignored it, the story became the one she would one day share as a warning for every other kid who was standing exactly where she was standing that week. Ryan sent her a photo. He said it was a selfie. It looked like a normal teenage boy with messy hair in front of a bathroom mirror. Hannah felt a wave of relief because the photo matched the voice and the personality she had been talking to. But something about the image nagged at her. The lighting was too perfect. The framing was too clean. She almost did a reverse image search. She was one click away from it. But then Ryan messaged her something funny and made her laugh, and she forgot all about the photo. Looking back, Hannah would tell interviewers that this was the moment she wished she could take back. Not the chat, not the information she had given, the reverse image search. She would have clicked it. She would have seen the truth. And everything that came next would not have happened. Over the following 2 weeks, Ryan's questions became more careful but more specific. He asked her what her house looked like, what color it was, whether there were any cars out front on weekdays, whether her dog was big or small. Hannah did not answer most of these, but she answered enough. A single photo she had posted months ago on a public Roblox screenshot showed her reflection in a window. and in that reflection, part of her front door was visible. She had never noticed, neither had her parents, but Ryan had. The day it happened, Hannah came home from school at 3 in the afternoon. Her mother had texted earlier that she was staying late for a work meeting. Her father was out of town on a business trip. It was going to be a long evening, alone in the house with Biscuit and her computer. She was not worried. She had been home alone plenty of times. She was 13. She knew how to microwave food and lock doors. She logged into Roblox around 4. Ryan was not online, which was a little unusual because they almost always played together on weekday afternoons. She sent him a message. No response. She played Adopt Me by herself for an hour. She fed Biscuit. She did a little homework. By the time it got to 6 in the evening, it was starting to get dark outside. She went back to her computer to check if Ryan had come online. Still nothing. She was about to log off and go watch TV when the first knock on the front door happened. 3 knocks. Firm, but not aggressive. She froze for a second because nobody was supposed to be coming over. No delivery was expected. Her parents were still out. She walked to the front door and looked through the peephole. She saw an empty porch. The street beyond was quiet. No car in the driveway besides her parents' second car. She waited. Another knock. 3 more. Same rhythm. She looked through the peephole again. Still nobody. Her heart started beating faster. She backed away from the door slowly. Biscuit was already growling low, facing the door with her ears flat against her head. Hannah had seen Biscuit bark at UPS drivers, at squirrels, at the mail lady, but she had never seen her do this. The dog knew something was wrong. Hannah grabbed her phone and started walking toward her bedroom upstairs. She was going to call her mother, but before she even unlocked her phone, it buzzed in her hand. A notification popped up on the screen. It was a Roblox message from Ryan. And the first 5 words of that message made her knees go weak and her mouth go dry, because they proved that every instinct she had just brushed aside was right. The message said, "Are you going to answer?" Hannah did exactly what a lot of people might not have done at 13. She did not panic scream. She did not open the door to check. She did not respond to the message. She ran upstairs to her bedroom, closed the door, locked it from the inside, and called her mother. Then, on her mother's instruction, she called 911. The 911 operator asked her to describe what was happening. Hannah told her everything. The knocks, the empty porch, the Roblox message. The operator stayed on the phone with her and said a police car was already being dispatched. She was told to stay in the locked room, keep her dog with her, and not to make any noise that could be heard from outside. Biscuit was in the room with her. The dog had stopped growling, but was standing at attention facing the bedroom door, completely silent. Hannah sat on the floor of her bedroom with her back against her bed. She could hear her own heartbeat in her ears. She looked at her phone. She could see the Roblox chat window still open with the message from Ryan. She did something that her mother later said was the smartest thing she did that entire afternoon. She took a screenshot of the message. Then she took a screenshot of the chat history going back weeks. She kept screenshotting until her storage filled up. She was preserving evidence without anyone telling her to. The police car arrived 9 minutes later. Hannah watched through her upstairs window as the officers got out and walked around the house. She saw them look at the front porch. She saw one of them gesture to something on the doorframe. Her mother arrived 5 minutes after that, pale and out of breath from driving too fast. The police searched the yard, the driveway, and the street. They found nobody. The person who had knocked on the door was gone. But they found something on the porch that confirmed everything Hannah had feared. There was a single sheet of paper wedged into the gap between the screen door and the front door. The paper had her Roblox username written on it. The police took the paper as evidence. They told Hannah's mother that they would open an investigation. They said the case would likely take weeks. But what the investigation uncovered over the next month was something none of them, not Hannah, not her parents, not even the detectives, were prepared for. Because Ryan was not who anyone thought he was. The investigation was handled by a detective who specialized in online crimes against minors. Over the course of 4 weeks, they traced the IP addresses connected to Ryan's Roblox account. What they found was that Ryan was not one person. It was 3 different accounts rotating through the same network, and all 3 had been used to target minors in several different towns. The person behind the accounts had been identified as a man in his late 30s who lived a few hours away from Hannah. He was arrested within 6 weeks. When the news broke, Hannah's parents made the decision not to share every detail with her, but they told her the important parts. He was stopped. He was not going to be able to contact anyone anymore. The other kids he had been targeting were being reached out to by police so their families could be warned. Hannah never fully recovered the feeling of safety she had before that afternoon. She moved her computer from the living room into the kitchen, where she only played when a parent was home. She changed every username on every platform. She learned how to do reverse image searches. She started checking privacy settings on everything she posted, even harmless screenshots. But the biggest thing that changed was her relationship with being alone. The house no longer felt like just a house. Every knock on the door now got checked twice. Every sound at night made Biscuit lift her head. And Hannah never played Roblox alone in an empty house again. When Hannah shared her story online, she did not share it to scare people. She shared it because she wanted every kid who played any online game to understand something she did not understand at the time. Strangers online are not your friends. They are strangers. And the ones who are patient, polite, funny, and kind are not necessarily safe. In many cases, the ones who seem the safest are the ones who have worked the hardest to seem that way. She wrote that the scariest part of her story was not the knocks on the door. It was realizing how many small pieces of information she had given away over the course of normal conversations without ever thinking about what they added up to. Her town, her schedule, her dog's name, her home being a house instead of an apartment, the color of the door and the reflection of a screenshot. None of those things seemed dangerous on their own. Together, they were a map. She said the 3 things she wished she had known at 13 were simple. First, friends you meet in a game are game friends until proven otherwise, and that takes years, not weeks. Second, anybody who asks about your schedule, your home, or when your parents are home is not someone whose questions you should be answering. Third, if something in your gut tells you to do a reverse image search, listen to it. The click is free. The cost of not clicking is not. Hannah is doing well now. She still plays Roblox, but not the same way she used to. She keeps a small list of players who are her actual friends, and she does not add new ones without a lot of time passing first. She also tells this story to every younger kid she meets who is just getting into online games, because she wishes somebody had told her. Here is my question for you. Have you ever had a moment online that made your gut say something was wrong? What did you do? Drop your story in the comments. I will heart the realest ones. Hey, if you are watching this and you have a kid who plays Roblox, please send them this video. If you are that kid, you already know what I am about to say. Trust your gut. Tell an adult. Take the screenshot. You are not being dramatic. You are being smart. Subscribe if you are new. Stay safe out there.